Glock 45 here. You're looking at a nice Glock, aren't you? Pretty funny. I think it's actually a 1911. Yes, chapter 2 with my 1969 vintage 1911. I just wanted to shoot it today. I knew you'd want to be here, and I have invited you, okay? So behave yourselves and you can stay. Mostly, I'm just going to shoot it because in the first video with this firearm, I had 3 or 4 other 1911s out, talked about how it fits and the A1s and all that. I'll link to it. This one, I just wanted to shoot. I don't want to talk a lot. I don't want to educate you today, okay? Got to educate yourself. You should already be educated. You should have already seen the first video. If not, go to it, okay? No, I'm having fun, just want to shoot it, and it's a beautiful evening. Glad you're here, and well, let's just shoot it. How's that? Let's just empty this first magazine. Isn't that a thing of beauty? 1969. Oh my gosh, I still regret just hanging out on the college campus being a hippie during those years. I could have been shooting this firearm, you know, like this. I thought he was getting away, didn't he? Yeah, really. I should have been slinging 45 ACP rounds instead of, hanging out in college. I was not hanging out being a hippie, really. I was busy bouncing a basketball and studying, me, Mr. Conscientious. But I did like firearms even at that time. Just couldn't afford any. No time for it. But yeah, 69 was a pretty good year in some ways. Not for the folks in Vietnam. That was the year, of the Tet Offensive, wasn't it? So people carrying these firearms. So that was an interesting time for this to be made, because it was made in 1969 while our soldiers were all carrying 1911s like this, just like this, as I pointed out in the first video, A1s, and also the original 1911s, because I don't know how many they were making for the military in the 60s, probably none. I think they made so many during World War II and before that, that they were still carrying the 1911s, from, those years for the most part. Don't think that, if you know differently, let us know. I don't know that Colt was supplying a lot of new 1911 A1s to the military, through the 50s and 60s, if any. I just don't know. I haven't read on that. But this is kind of neat because it's a pre-70. Yeah, a lot of people salivate over the 70 series 1911s, and this even predates that. I think, let's see, 1969, 1970. Yeah, predates the 70 series. So let me shoot another mag, and of course, watch. And I'm going to shoot right now some more. Can I do that? I think in the first video I had a couple of malfunctions with it. I don't know. I got most of my best magazines out here, so we'll see how it goes. Let's put a couple on this target over here. Paper. See if I can hit that blue or red. Okay. I don't think it's even broken in. But we'll see. I think I suspected maybe the extractor needs tightening up a little bit. I don't know. I've not done anything with it. Let's smoke some pot with it though. It's a pretty good little bowler. Yeah, man, I still have not painted the front side or anything, but I don't know. I might not mess with it too much. It's kind of a classic, Yeah, I lose that front side on some of the targets. There we go. Yeah, I mean, you can put them where you want to, even with those lame sights. Pretty neat old gun. 1969. Yeah, Colt. Yeah, Colt's had a tough time through the years. They've been around a long time. They, generally speaking, make good quality firearms. A lot of competition. There are people maybe who make better firearms, and they're not making all the same firearms they used to make, and you got all that. But Colt firearms hold their value really well. for you new people. And sometimes you can even buy them at like a Home Depot or a Lowe's, because if you're working on cinder blocks, you're kind of involved in construction, and you need to remove some cinder blocks, I think they have an aisle for these. Let me show you. See? I mean, you can just work on a cinder block without any trouble. If you're a bricklayer and you get blocks in the wrong place on a wall, see that? You can just take it down. You know, rather than have to figure out a way to remove the cement, the mortar, chisel it out of there. There you go. There's your semi-automatic chiseler. So, and I apologize to the people who fell for that, okay? You got to get over that gullible gene you've got. Oh, look at those pretty pink 2-liters. That's a nice trigger. Boy, I'll tell you, this is back when they built them right. Let's put one on the gong. I'm gonna try a buffalo. Look at that, you can't mess with this thing. I'll tell you. Oh, I can usually manage to miss. But they're just so shootable, 1911s, even with lame sights, you know, and anybody that shoots much, you know, there's not a lot of sight picture there, and it's, you know, there's no color to it. There's a reason why so many, I don't know, I don't know if it's higher end, but a lot of modern firearms, handguns, have fiber optic front sights and that sort of thing, because they're easy to see, and you can just, boy, it's almost like a red dot scope, you know, on some firearms, you can just lay that in there and see it so clearly. Whereas when you pull this up, that's why if you notice on the cinder block removal, that construction or deconstruction, whatever, destruction in project I was involved in there, I was not shooting as fast as I normally can. Not that I'm in a speed contest, but I was really, okay, I can't see the sight. I can't see it, and I didn't want to just miss it, you know, 4 or 5 times. But yeah, that's okay. I could always paint it, put a little fingernail polish or sight paint on it. Look at that baby. 1969. Do you ever have a firearm, buy a firearm? I guess it'd be the same with a coin or something, but like, you know, when it was made in 69, think back to what you were doing in 69, or if it's a firearm made in 1958, or I know most of you weren't born in 58, but 1983 or 2000 or something. You know, what was that? I've got some Colts that always comes to my mind. Like 1964, I got a couple of them that were made in 1964. You know, and I think about the age and what I was doing in school and everything, and somebody in Hartford, Connecticut was milling on those things and finishing them and working on the bluing and the grip and fitting those things, while I was just a dumb, ignorant, whatever, 8th grader or something, or 9th grader, you know. Had no clue he was building those for me, you know. I just didn't know. So interesting to think about sometimes. So I think about some weird stuff. I guess you've noticed that by now, right? All right, let's shoot a little bit more before I let you go. Okay. All right, did I put one in the chamber? I think I just did. No, I didn't. Mr. Orange 2-liter, it's your turn. And a bowling pin I missed. Yeah. Still shoots. I tell you what, an old 1911 with poor sights. I think I had another mag here. Yeah. Again, we think of an old firearm like this with sights that are hard to pick up and all that. I don't have a holster on. I couldn't find my one gun sight holster I sort of like to use with these. I need to buy a nice 1911 holster. I don't have one often for videos. All right, but so I won't come out of the holster, and I won't stick it in my pocket. But you know, it's a 1911. It's a big old gun with yeah, pathetic sights. But if you really had to shoot, I mean, it'll work. It'll do the job. you can hit what you need to hit, and especially at 4 or 5 feet or 7 yards, because that's probably where it's going to happen, right? Let's shoot one more magazine. Okay, let's just shoot a couple more here. Oh, we haven't shot the tree. That's a 45 ACP. You notice that? Boom. I'll tell you what, I've noticed that every time you hold it on target and get the trigger pulled correctly, it'll hit. It's just an amazing thing. So I had one little hang up. Okay, maybe it's breaking in. Maybe I don't need to change out the extractor. John, the reason I say that, I'm not a gunsmith, but John and I both have had Series 80 Colts. Yeah, I mean, they're made well too. They just seem really fine. But extractor is a little loose, a little too tight. Usually it's just too loose. You replace the extractor, you just pull that out, take the back plate off, pull that out, and put in another one. A lot of people use a Wilson Combat bulletproof extractor, and there's others that are made really well, and so often it solves the issue, the extractor issue. But anyway, old 1969. For those of you who were hanging out, being a hippie in college or not in college, just driving around the country, you too could have been shooting something like this and enjoying it, So 1969, good old pre-70 government model. For new people, these Colt 1911s that are made in the 70 series, guess when they were made? Yeah, 1970s, newsflash. They're pretty collectible. They're considered like maybe that last decade when they were made, the old way, pretty much. Because in the 80s they went to the firing pin block, and some people don't like that. A little bit more problematic to do trigger jobs and that kind of thing. There's two schools of thought on that, but anyway, through the 70s you still had the same basic operation, and this one is even pre-70. So this goes back into an era when they're just a little bit more desirable, and I told you in the first video, I just kind of looked into this for a very reasonable price. I'd have paid the same thing if I'd have gone into a gun shop and bought a new Series 80 or whatever, a modern one, so I was happy to find it. I told you it was a viewer, very young viewer, and his dad were at a military show, and they were he was selling it to, he had the hots for some other firearm, and wanted to move this in order to get some cash and buy that. I forgot what it was, but so that was just my luck that I ran into them. They ran into me. So I like a 1911. They're fun to shoot. I rarely carry them unless it's around the farm here, but they're just great guns. So we appreciate you coming around tonight. Appreciate you watching. John and I always are just so grateful that you guys have horrible taste and you come to our videos and actually watch them. So we're just really pleased that you do have poor taste. No, we love you all, and we're glad you came out tonight. Appreciate you supporting the people that support us, and we'll probably come back and do this again. Okay, you know what I'm going to say? Yep, life is good.
Oh yeah, that's better. This is a great gun for defense. Oh hey, didn't see you guys there. While I've got you here, I want to remind you of our friends over at Talon Grips and Ballistol. Talon Grips makes grips, can you believe it, for all different types of firearms. You can get rough texture or more of a rubberized texture. It just sticks right on there. Really affordable, really cool option to improve the grip for your handguns or rifles. So please check them out at talongungrips.com. You'll be glad you did. And also Ballistol. Dad has been using Ballistol for many years. It's a cleaner and a lubricant, and it's non-toxic. It works really great, and we're happy to have them on board since it's been a part of our shooting endeavor for a very long time. So go to ballistol.com, talongungrips.com, and also while you're out there, I'm juggling all these things here. Also, while you're on the internet, please do check out our other social media like Hickok45 on Facebook. There's also Hickok45 on Twitter. The real Hickok45 on Instagram. There's a John_Hickok45 on Instagram where I do some things. There's Hickok45.com. You can find us also on Gunstreamer. So check out all that stuff and then watch more videos.